Hey, good morning. Doug Sinceri, Albert Nico, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Just call 260-1870 or connect with us on the Oakland Heart Talk and text line. You text at 260-1870. Good morning, Albert. Nothing much since we last talked. Philadelphia was um, dominant in the trenches and won the Super Bowl quite easily. And we have Philadelphia's offensive coordinator. So let the optim. Well, yes, I mean that psychologically that's helpful. I think I think the number one thing that makes great coaches are great players, and Philadelphia does not have a discernible weakness on offense. It's, from a personnel standpoint, their offensive line is phenomenal. Two great receivers, a great running back, and a great, a good, if not great, quarterback. And to Kellen Moore's credit, he had utilized that talent in maximum capacity to win. And congratulations. I think we're starting the cycle of which is much needed of optimism. A change. The fact that we have a change, and as Colin was saying before we got on the air, you have checks off a lot of boxes as far as young youth, offensive oriented, and not affiliated or no connection to a prior regime, and they're starting all over again. So that's good. The unknown is whether his skills are transferable to a head coach, because the skills of an assistant coach are not necessarily indicative as to whether you'd be a great head coach. And we saw that with Dennis Allen. But, we'll see. We'll see. And, handling personnel, discipline issues, leader of men, those type of issues, that's will probably determine his success or lack of success for the Saints. I don't think there's going to be, it's probably a 2 or 3 year project at best. I mean, at worst, or at best. And we'll see. We'll see. I think the first looks like Taysom Hill is going to be gone because he had a serious injury that probably he wouldn't have been ready till October anyway. So they saved $10 million on the cap there. What do you do? What do you do with Derek Carr? Do you keep him? Do you cut him prior to June 1st and take his whole $50 million hit this year and say, let's just get it off the books this year, have it take up about 1/5 of your cap? Or do you cut him after June 4th and spread out the loss, half this year and half next year as far as the cap hit? So that, I think that's the first decision that needs to be made. And I'm sure he's going to do his film study and as to whether Spencer Rattler is someone who has the foundational abilities to train and mentor for a year or not. So that those are questions. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. No, and I think Philadelphia proved that this year with all the exotic offenses that they have out. The air raid. The West Coast offense. It ultimately came back to the fact that it's winning in the trenches on both ways, because Philadelphia's defensive line was just dominant. I mean, just dominant, and it took a great quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, and made him look very mortal. And so, you know, we have invested a lot in the offensive line. We just, Cesar Ruiz has not performed as a first round pick. Maybe an average guard at best. Penning is, he's the jury's. I think he's probably got to move inside. Now McCoy is good, and the first round pick last year from tackle did okay, did a little above average. So who are yeah, they got two, but yeah, well, yeah. So maybe Will Bordelon will be there at 9 when LSU picks, and Will Bordelon is, I think he allowed one sack in the SEC in his entire career, and his only concern was maybe putting up a little upper body strength, but as a technician, he's the best. And I think you would probably equate him to Jim Dombrowski. He's the same, out of the same mold, as far as just a player who is going to be great feet, um, technically sound, leverages himself great, and is also played against the best competition, SEC and 9. They pick at 9. They pick at 9. So he may be available, and it may go that way, but that'll be. We've got about 2 months of talk shows from 4 to 8 on a discussion for that. Uh, but that, so we'll see. I mean, as a fan, you got to be excited. As a analyst, if you're analyzing it, anytime you pick an assistant coach without a history as a head coach, you just don't know if those skills are transferable. I mean, press, dealing with the press, dealing with discipline. How are you going to hold the players accountable? I think one of the new age coaches is McDonald from Miami. He's got this brilliant offensive mind, but there's not a lot of order on that team in the sense of discipline. And the jury's on out as to whether that technique of coaching is going to work. It's sort of like being a friend who encourages your player to be the best he can rather than having a lot of hard accountability. So we'll see. We'll see. But I think they did go in a different direction. Probably wasn't their first choice. Probably wasn't in their first list of potential coaches, and that's okay because a lot of times, your second, third, and fourth choice ends up doing great, and you're like, thank goodness we didn't pick our first choice. So we don't know. So I guess we can start. At least we'll have a different mindset, and we won't have I want to say skepticism, but just the reality that, hey, we have a guy at the helm who we hope he does well, but he just doesn't have it. He just doesn't have it, and right. Attention. Yeah. Well, I think part of the Peter principle, you rise to your level of to the level of your incompetence. Not incompetence, but managerial. It just wasn't. Um, he wasn't the guy, and he will never be the guy. And I think he'll probably do great, fantastic at Chicago. And but that's part of the decision making process is to be able to discern that. You say, hey, I can spot these characteristics, but these lack of, it's part of the evaluation process. So let's hope they got it. They got it. Well, they have learned from that and picked well this time. Now, I would say I would like for them to have all their salary cap paying next year. Get rid of the veterans, let their signing bonuses accelerate, and if they take $100 million, $80 million of cap loss, let's do it next year and get it out the way. I'd rather, even if they decide to cut Derek Carr, let's do it now. Take the $50 million cap hit and just get it off the books, so that when you start 2026, you're going to have some room. And then, right, no, right. I think next year's your next year is your, let's get a bunch of draft picks. Let's play a lot of young guys. Probably start out very slow, and then see, just sort of see where it goes, and so that the following year you'll have maximum cap flexibility. I mean, you'll have your books cleared. This is the year of pain. They have had to have this over the last 6 or 7 years. They've had to have a year where they just clear the books. And if there's people who aren't going to take you through 26, 27, and 28, even though they're maybe on the downside for the 25 season, that's what makes executives, making the hard decisions, making the unpopular decisions, doing the things that nobody wants to be done, and or not taking the path of least resistance. Huh? Yes, it is. It is. Well, right. Right, exactly right. Exactly right. And I think that needs to be done. And I'd rather have that pain washed out in 25 rather than spread over 25 and 26. Because I think by 26, you'll be able to, if you have some things in place, you can start maybe making some noise. But we'll see. We'll see. That's a great thing. We'll have, we'll have, I guess the regular season's 7 to 8 months away, so we'll have 8 months to hash that out. So wish the best of luck to Coach Moore. Um, you know, I was thinking, let's see, he's 36, so he was born in 1999, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 1998. Oh my, so that's if you think if you, oh, he looked like a kid. He looked like an eagle. He looked like an Eagle Scout. So, but so well, yeah, right, right. So we'll see. It'll be exciting, to have to start the rebuild and give a little oomph and a little optimism into the franchise. So there you go. All right. Well, let's take a break. Let's see, Doug. This is Doug Sinceri, Albert Nico, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this. Oh, Kellen Moore was born in 1988, not 99. So I said 99, but 1988 or 89. So my mistake, my math. I did my De La Salle math there, so I apologize to my math teachers at De La Salle. I did incorrect calculation. So it's 1988, 89, which is still very very young. All right, let's go to a break. Doug Sinceri, Albert Nico, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief timeout. Cullen, let's do blues. BB King. What do you think? Huh? You don't know the blues? Bo Diddley? All right. Bo Diddley? The band? Yeah, that's bluesy. Let's see. Yes, it was awesome. Okay, The Thrill Is Gone. BB King. You ever hear that one? And Bo Diddley. All right, the thrill is gone. Let's see, Bo Diddley's. I don't know. I was going to talk about capacity. Yeah, mental capacity. Oh, let me check them. Yeah. Oh, I see that. All right. Yeah. No, I heard about it though. I read about it. Hey, I love it. That's because you got to have countries that don't like each other play. It makes it better. Yep. There's another one. There's a great blues song by Muddy Waters, "Hoochie Coochie Man." Yeah. Okay. Hey, we're back. Back to BB King. Man, that's good. We have a couple of texts before we go to law. It says, "Good morning. Do you think the Saints will make the playoffs this year?" No. All right, that was easy. Second, I think Coach Kellen Moore will do fine considering the overflowing Jazz Fest portalette that he's inheriting. He's a ball throwing monster. In college, he was 50-3 as a starter. He knows the game. I'm inclined to be patient and let Kellen build a team. Yes, he was part of when he played. He was part of the air raid with Boise State, right, Colin? I think it was Boise State. So he was one of those air raid quarterbacks who just chunked it every play. So there you go. We'll see. Also, real quick, LSU baseball, they beat Fort Wayne easily. Can't really tell much playing Fort Wayne, Purdue for Fort Wayne, except some individual performances. One thing that LSU does have to, it's a great problem to have, but they have 6 SEC outfielders that they're going to have to figure out who's going to be their 3 starters. They're pretty deep, but we'll see if they come together. And and then we need some power around Jared Jones so that they can't pitch around him. So we'll see. But they play today 1 o'clock. Our first pitch at 12:30. No, that's right. Other way around. Yeah. The first pitch is at 1. Pregame 12:30. So there you go. Okay.
Get mental anguish and those types of things that you could claim. You could also claim, as a result, I had to go rent a house. Well, I had additional living expenses, but they ran out at $10,000. Well, it cost me $50,000. So 40,000 of it were damages I sustained because you didn't pay me for another 6 months. And so I would get that plus 2 times the damages, right? And then there were some cases that talked about you couldn't collect under both. But there was an argument back and forth as to whether or not that law or that interpretation of the law came out before they realized this split in terms of interpreting the 2 statutes. So anyway, so they've done away with 1892. And so there's no longer a 2 times penalty for certain things. And then what they've also added was 1892.1. So what they did was they said that if you as an insured, okay, do certain things, then that factors into it, the penalties and attorney's fees for arbitrary and capricious behavior that the insurance company may have done. And so it doesn't necessarily say exactly what happens, whether you will you will lose it or mitigate it or whatever in terms of the insurance company's penalties. But so it says that if you knowingly commit any of the following, let's see. I just lost it. I want to get this right here. Yeah, there it is. Failing to comply with affirmative contractual duties and obligations. Now, that could mean a whole lot of things, and I think the courts are going to have to weigh in as to what that means from an insured's standpoint, that I didn't comply with affirmative contractual duties and obligations. Does that mean that, I didn't tarp my roof soon enough? Does it, who knows what that means, right? Then misrepresenting pertinent facts or policy provision. Now, I don't know that an insured can misrepresent certain policy provisions. I think the insurance company should know that. Now, if you misrepresent pertinent facts, then that will also maybe mitigate any penalties you might be able to get. And then the other one is submitting estimates or claim. Again, it has to be a knowing breach, but submitting estimates or claims for damages that lack a basis for coverage or evidentiary support. So, you say, oh, I need a new roof. Well, the adjuster came out, my public adjuster, and said, you need a new roof. Well, if the roof is brand new and, or you and again, the examples are limitless. I bought new windows 5 years ago, and they need to be replaced. Well, the windows are all fine. There's no evidence of leakage. There's no basis for those estimates or claims. So what happens is the trier of fact. If they determine that the insured or a representative of the insured breached their duty of good faith.
The insured's the homeowner.
Correct.
The homeowner is
yes, the insured, not the insurer. So if the homeowner breached their duty of good faith as provided in the statute, then the trier of fact, whether it's the judge or the jury, they must determine whether the insured should be awarded penalties if in fact, it wasn't enough of a breach, I guess, to counteract the breach of the insurance company.
Well, what's really going to do, as far as the new law is concerned, is it's going to put more of an onus on the homeowner to get better information sooner that's more defined. And
yes,
because before, well, first of all, we always tell, the homeowners when we do this, it's up to you to tell the insurance company what's damaged. It's not the insurance company's duty to figure it out. And a lot of people have misconceptions about that. A lot of homeowners do that. But we did have a foothold, or homeowners did have a foothold in a litigation context saying, hey, you came out to my property, you saw there was a hole in my roof, you saw there was water damage in 70% of the house, and you only wrote an estimate for $5,000. So therefore you arbitrary and capricious. Now it's pretty much shifting to say, hey, if the onus is not for the insurance company to figure out what your damages are, and if they don't, obvious damages, they can't be held liable for penalties and attorney's fees. It's up to the homeowner to get a good estimate, to do your best you can to define the scope and unit cost of your estimate, and get it and have it accurate, and have it get to the insurance company definitively. Not, and I gave a receipt here, I gave a receipt there, I gave a little half an estimate here, I gave an electrician estimate there, I gave a plumber's estimate there, and sort of do it piecemeal. You're going to have it all integrated, and it's going to be, what it's basically going to do is it's going to put more of a emphasis on the homeowner on quantifying their damages in a very defined way, as opposed to maybe, having the insurance company having some duties to figure out some of the damages.
Exactly. And of course, it's a 60-day period to make the payment instead of 30 days. So they gave them another 30 days to pay. And, look, when you got 5,000 homes that have been damaged, granted, people need to get back in their homes, but we'll see. I mean, let me ask you, this has now been implemented. just like the tort law with the automobile claims, et cetera, or any personal injury claims or any other tort. Has anybody's auto premiums gone down, or has anybody's homeowner's premium gone down? I've got a fortified roof that I had put on, and it's my premium is still high, right? So they didn't come to me and say, "Oh, good, we're gonna save you 20%." So we'll I think they need to revisit it within a year or two, and and honestly, I mean, we talked about this before that now Louisiana is in such a great position nationally, with Johnson and Scalise and the governor and everybody else that kind of has the president's ear. I think there should be, and again, unfortunately, because FEMA is so broke because they gave all the money to all these things that were not, emergency management, that it may not happen, but they should have coastal coverage for hurricanes. Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, all the way across, and even on the East Coast and now the West Coast, that the government would pay the premium just like the flood policies, and it would be a certain number of miles from a body of water that was susceptible to hurricane wind damages, and and let the government pay it, and let it just be a catastrophic kind of coverage. You collect premiums, you do all those things, and because they end up coming down here and do a lot of that stuff for free anyway. You might as well get the premium for it, and you're not competing with hardly any insurance companies, right? Because nobody wants that coverage. Nobody wants to fool with that. They want your typical homeowners coverage with, an occasional pipe break or a fire or something like that. They don't want the homeowners coverage in the hurricane zones. So let's let the federal government set up a system and to handle those things so people can afford their homes. I mean, new home ownership is dropped substantially because people can't afford it. Renters are paying more money because the landlord's like, look, I just raised your rent the exact amount that your homeowner's premium went up. I mean, for the rental, and so I got to get my money back because I got to pay a mortgage or I got to pay these expenses, et cetera. And so everybody's paying more in these coastal areas because of it. And I think now's the time. Florida's the same way. They got a governor that's also close to the administration. And I think it would be time to move forward with that.
All right, let's go to a break. Doug Terry, Albert Nico, your weekend lawyers. We'll be right back.
WWL, home of your Saints and LSU. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From local headlines, everything you need to know, to national events, keeping me up to date 24/7. Stay informed every step of the way. In my car, all news, keep me up to date all the time. This is WWL.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hands when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted.
So I'm going to text Paul.
Yeah, counsel. Everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries. And when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit ConsumerCellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Mardi Gras is on the way, and whether you're riding on a float, marching, chaperoning, dancing, or just watching, you're not going to have any fun if your feet hurt. Hey, it's Tommy Flatfoot Tucker. My feet are flatter than a frying pan, and I lived most of my life with foot pain. Whenever I ran, walked, or just stood up or tried to dance, but not anymore. Not since I went to the Good Feet store. The arch supports from the Good Feet store are the only thing that stop my feet from hurting. And I tried every gimmick, gadget, and injection. But finally, mercifully, thankfully, I am pain-free, and you can be too. Do yourself a favor. Get to the Good Feet store closest to you and take a free test walk. But make sure you bring your own shoes, whether they're work boots, high heels, loafers, sneakers, whatever. And then let the Good Feet store help you like they've helped me. Good Feet Arch Supports have helped thousands enjoy their lives, including me, and it can work for you too. Make up your mind to bring yourself and your shoes to the Good Feet store in Metairie on Vets next to Acme Oyster House and in Mandeville on the northwest corner of Highway 190 and 22 near Chick-fil-A.
My name is Hugh Lambert, nicknamed Skip. The Lambert, Zaney, Smith & Soso firm in New Orleans handles everything from serious car wrecks to complex litigation. Our focus is on maritime law involving injury claims for seamen, offshore workers on boats, platforms, semi-submersibles, jackups, lift boats, as well as longshoremen and harbor workers in the Gulf of Mexico or along the river. Want to speak to an experienced maritime lawyer? Look us up at lambertzaney.com. Consultations are free and confidential. Be safe out there. LA 18-0969.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit ConsumerCellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Hey, we're back. Dustin Terry, Albert Nico, your weekend always all things. We're going to go about a minute on this segment. But Albert, when we come back on the other side, I sort of want to talk about the implications of having a 2-year period to file a lawsuit in connection with like a car accident or a slip and fall, and how that may change the dynamics of the attorney interaction, or whether you need an attorney, or how that may ultimately affect, how things are done as compared to the 1-year prescriptive period, which was in place before. So before you get 1 year to file a lawsuit. And so that if you were still under treatment, even though you thought you might be able to settle the case, eventually you had to file a lawsuit to preserve your right. But now you get 2 years. How does that change from a person who's injured in a car wreck or injured in some kind of accident? How does it change that from their perspective? And from their perspective, what would be different? So let's go to a break. Doug Terry, Albert Nico, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time.
Get the WWL shows you love delivered to your phone free. Download the Odyssey app and follow your favorites. Bobby Hebert, Mike DeTillier, Steve Keller. Powered by Feeds by the Dozen. Keep it locked on WWL for breaking sports news. Powered by BetMGM. Smarter bets start with BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app or visit BetMGM.com today. WWL is proudly sponsored by Dudley DeBosier Injury Lawyers. Call 444-4444.
I'm attorney spokesperson Chad Dudley DeWillis.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about lease charges, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
I figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. I had
happy. Don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-906-1788. 800-906-1788. 800-906-1788.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. We're fresh off hosting the big game for a record-tying 11th time, where the biggest names in sports and entertainment came together for an amazing week in New Orleans. The eyes of the world were on us, and we shined brightly as a world-class, one-of-a-kind destination. It's not magic that attracts millions of visitors and brings major events and conventions to our city every year. Our city is built to host. Experience it for yourself. Come see what makes our city so special. Plan your trip, meeting, or event today with our friends at New Orleans & Company at neworleans.com.
As football season winds down, college basketball is gearing up. Fans are ready to see which teams will prove they're ready to shine in March and who will be seen in San Antonio. You can get in on all the action from tip-off to the final whistle at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Right now, new ESPN Bet Sportsbook customers can bet $10 to get $100 in bonus bets and unlock 30 days of ESPN Plus. Download the app and sign up with promo code Radio100 to get started today. Must be 21 and over. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. In partnership with LeBair's Lake Charles. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Right now at Verizon, you can get one line for less than you think. Just $50 per month when you bring your phone, which is less than you spend on Bella's Dog Walker and Glam Squad every week. Get one line on unlimited welcome for $50 per month with autopay plus taxes and fees at your local New Orleans Verizon store today. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
The annual Horses, Hops, and Cops fundraiser for the NOPD Stables is at City Park Wednesday, February 19th. Meet the world-famous Budweiser Clydesdales. Enjoy fun for the whole family, including VIP tours, equine soccer games, live music, and Budweiser. That's Wednesday, February 19th, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at NOPD Stables, City Park. Meet the world-famous Budweiser Clydesdales and celebrate the 100th anniversary of the NOPD Mounted Unit. Come by 1021 Harrison Avenue or visit LouisianaHospitalityFoundation.org. Visiting NO's and going to the dentist shouldn't leave you feel anxiety and action. You relax at your dentist's office. That's why you see my friends at Terry Dental Aesthetics on the street at Rampart in downtown New Orleans. It's the perfect combination of a spa-like atmosphere and a dentist office. And Dr. Terry and his crew will take care of all of your needs.
Albert, we're going to have like a minute or so here, so we're not going to dive into anything too crazy.
Yeah, we'll wait till after the break.
Next discussion point to the start of the next hour.
1011 or book now at terryaesthetics.com.
Celebrate financial freedom. Diversify your assets with Southern Points. SCPM.com.
Guess what, Metairie? Same-day Botox available at Weiler Plastic Surgery Group.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, HIMS can help. Through HIMS.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy. And from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
College sports hold a mythic place in American culture. But sometimes the drama off the court overshadows the action on it.
The higher-ups are concerned about one thing, and that is avoiding scandal.
I'm Margot Gray. On the new podcast, Campus Files, we cover everything, including some of the biggest scandals in college sports. Listen to and follow Campus Files, an Odyssey original podcast, available now on the free Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, we're back. That's just Terry Albert. All things legal. Okay, there's two things we're going to talk about on the other side. One is the 2-year change in the law, and that's sort of a big change that most people would be interested in. Is the 2 years as far as like personal injury how that would change how litigation is dealt with then, and whether there's going to be more. I might ask Albert whether there's more lawsuits or less lawsuits. The other issue is we'll talk a little bit more about the changes in the law for homeowners as far as their insurance is concerned. And we talked a little bit about before, but some of the things that may have to be done that wasn't done before in order to make sure that the insurance companies would be able to process your claim timely and not use some, I would say, opportunistic omissions not to process your claim because you didn't, technically comply with certain things that you needed to do in order to push your insurance claim through the process, which is going to make it harder for the homeowner. But if you have knowledge and you understand what you need to do, then you can navigate around that. So what we're going to do is we're going to national news, local news, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes on all things legal. If you have any questions outside of the show, you can call us at law firm at 504-837-1304, 504-837-1304, or on the North Shore 985-674-929-594, I think. But let's go. We're going to national news, local news. We'll see you in about 10 minutes.
WWL New Orleans, 105.3 WWL FM and HD1 Cannon New Orleans, and Odyssey Station. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Vicki Barker. In Israel, Secretary of State Marco Rubio defends President Trump's proposal to depopulate the Gaza Strip and relocate the 2 million Palestinians there.
It may have shocked and surprised many, but what cannot continue is the same cycle where we repeat over and over again and wind up in the exact same place.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he's firmly on board. Jordan and Egypt have rejected the plan. EU leaders have called it deeply concerning. One UN investigator has called it ethnic cleansing. Elon Musk continues to wield his axe at federal government agencies as a lawsuit filed by 14 states to stop him makes its slow way through the legal process. President Trump shrugging off the concerns and criticism on Fox News.
Elon called me. He said, they're trying to drive us apart. I said, absolutely.
In New York City, immigrant advocates protesting an alleged deal which both sides deny that led the Trump-run Justice Department to move to drop corruption charges against Democratic Mayor Eric Adams, allegedly in exchange for Adams cooperating with President Trump's immigration policies. Trump's immigration czar, Tom Homan, telling CNN's State of the Union.
He wants public safety threats removed from New York City. He wants illegal alien crime to decrease in New York City. And there's a way we should collaborate on that. We agree that he doesn't want to be an immigration officer. I don't want to be an immigration officer. We agreed on that. I just want him to help me with the public safety threats.
7 federal prosecutors resigned after refusing to drop those corruption charges. And now the number 2 person at the National Archives, William J. Bosanko, has announced his retirement just days after President Trump removed his boss, the chief archivist. CBS's Christopher Cruz has that.
Bosanko was the agency's COO when the FBI served a search warrant on Mar-a-Lago in August 2022 in order to seize boxes of records President Trump had taken from the White House, including classified material.
In those fire-struck parts of Southern California, then hit by massive rainfall.
The storm is gone, but the muddy mess, that's still here.
Lived here over 30 years, and this is the first time we ever seen such a thing.
Thursday's rainstorm packed a punch, triggering a mudslide in the Sierra Madre neighborhood.
The mud was all the way to the level of the door, so I couldn't even come out because the debris was really bad.
On Saturday, homeowners spent the day cleaning up. There are street closures in effect because of the cleanup, and those are supposed to stay in place through the weekend.
CBS's Lauren Posen. At the Vatican today, Sunday Mass without the Pope, the 88-year-old Francis has spent a second night in a Rome hospital being treated for his latest respiratory infection. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
I had quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about leaf gardener coming after my house, my car. Yes, they don't play around. I seriously thought I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
I figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. I had to don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
A change to Instagram you may dislike.
Instagram is testing out a new feature many aren't on board with. It would allow users to dislike comments, but it's getting slammed for promoting bullying and negativity. The dislike button comes in the way of a down arrow that's between the heart and reply buttons in the comments area for some users. Many commenting on the new feature. One person said, "It will take cyberbullying to another level." Another posting, "People are already unhinged. We definitely don't need that feature." Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
WWL First News, I'm Ian Ozan on your official weather station, WWL.
After a stormy night, Sunday will be beautiful. Temperatures continually topping out just below 60 degrees for highs this afternoon on both sides of Lake Pontchartrain. We'll see lots of sunshine and a much colder start to your Monday across the North Shore and South Shore. Our forecast for Monday, Tuesday, mostly dry before another Gulf flow returns with a cold rain on Wednesday. We drop off considerably for overnight lows into Thursday, Friday. At that point, expect freezing conditions on both sides of the lake.
WWL TV meteorologist Brooke Laser has a full look at the forecast coming up in just a little bit. New details about a deadly car crash in the Treme. It happened early Saturday morning. Police now say that crash happened during a street race. According to investigators, one of the drivers missed a turn near the I-10 on-ramp at North Claiborne and St. Philip. The driver hit a guardrail, flipped his car, and landed on a tree. The driver of that vehicle, a 24-year-old man, died at the scene. A 22-year-old woman in the car with him was taken to a hospital. The second vehicle not involved in the crash. The case still under investigation. A Slidell man is facing charges after police say he intentionally parked a truck on train tracks, causing a crash while revelers were awaiting a parade. It happened Friday night on Gauss Boulevard and Front Street. Police say 45-year-old Robert King left the truck on the tracks, walked into a crowd along the parade route, and caused a disturbance. Officers later found King several blocks away. They found out about the train crash just a few minutes after. Time for WWL Sports. Here's Colin Steele.
This WWL Sports Update is brought to you by People's Health. With Kellen Moore now in town permanently, the Saints are looking to build out his staff. And as Tom Pelissero from the NFL Network reported last night, the team interviewed Dolphins wide receiver coach Robert Prince for their offensive coordinator opening. And as spring arrives, so does LSU baseball, with the Tigers looking to close their first series against Purdue Fort Wayne with a 3-0 sweep. Head coach for LSU, Jay Johnson, spoke to us earlier this week to describe how the team is shaping themselves to be a championship squad.
The goal is to win as many games as we can while we're kind of figuring out that recipe or what that best team ultimately looks like. Yeah, I will say that, one of our things for this year is really being together and committed to the team. And, we haven't had any adversity yet. I haven't written out that first lineup or somebody hasn't not played for 3 games, but I do like the vibe of the togetherness of the team right now.
The Tigers are winning games like they were yesterday while still figuring it out. Omaha can't come soon enough. Next stop along the way starts later today against Purdue Fort Wayne with first pitch at 1 p.m., pregame at 12:30 right here on WWL. And on the hardwood, the Tigers came out of Norman alive, beating the Oklahoma Sooners 82-79. In some rugby news, the NOLA Gold started their season off with a bang, and they defeated Anthem Rugby Carolina 35-14. Cullen Steele, WWL Sports.
Now, your Garcia Roofing forecast on
Our
WWL.
forecast for Sunday will be beautiful across southeast Louisiana after a very warm, stormy Saturday. Once again, expect 60 or so as a high with lots of sunshine and high pressure as well. We'll cool down all the more into early Monday with temperatures at or near the freezing mark on the North Shore and just a couple degrees warmer across South Shore locations. Into Monday, Tuesday, expect quiet conditions, and then Wednesday, we do see a Gulf flow returning, bringing additional rain chances, and that'll be a cold rain. Overall, not too much of a concern for major impacts. but certainly something to think about as you're planning your week. On the backside of this, we'll see freezing conditions waking up on Thursday and Friday with some 20s back on the North Shore and 30s south. From WWL Louisiana, I'm meteorologist Brooke Laser.
And I'm Ian Ozan, WWL First News. Have a wonderful Sunday.
From WWL, the news talk sports powerhouse of the Gulf South, it's All Things Legal with Doug Sinceri and Albert Nico. Underwritten by Nico and Sinceri Law Firm. Join us on the Oakland Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870, or connect anytime, anywhere on the Odyssey app. Now, to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studios in the heart of New Orleans, here are attorneys Albert Nico and Doug Sinceri.
Hey, we're back for hour number 2. Doug Sinceri, Albert Nico, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We're on till 10 o'clock, and we're pretty much on most weekends until Labor Day, or the weekend after Labor Day, which is when Saints open up their season. So we'll be 17 years, and so we'll be pretty much every weekend. Albert, wanted to talk to you. You referenced some changes of law in the first hour, and one of the laws, and I guess we'll put it in a Morris Bart kind of context. Car accidents. And before you had 1 year to file a lawsuit or you claim one away. And now you have 2 years before you have to file a lawsuit. Now, from a person who's involved in an automobile accident, how does that practically affect them? And how does that affect them when it comes to maybe hiring an attorney? Maybe when you engage an attorney, maybe have different terms.
Yeah. So,
your engagement's concerned.
I think the theory behind it is from the insurance company's standpoint, right? If you have 2 years to file a lawsuit, you may take 2 years to file a lawsuit. And if you do, then that gives the claims adjuster another year to handle the case without having to engage the services of a defense law firm. And so, I did a lot of defense work over the years, and, depending on the type of case, it changes from insurance company to insurance company. But sometimes the defense lawyer is strictly a glorified claims adjuster, right? I mean, they're just handling the procedural aspects of the case, and then the claims adjuster makes the final decision. The claims adjuster makes recommendations. They have to report to their adjusters, obviously, their opinion as to the venue and whether it's favorable to the defense or the plaintiff, whether all of these things. And so before they start spending all that money with the defense law firm, they can have another year to try to get the case settled, either with the plaintiff or the attorney for the plaintiff, without, again, having to increase their defense budget, court costs, issuing subpoenas, doing all those things, right? So I guess in that sense, it will help. However, I've had situations where people have come to me for personal injury matters, and it's beyond a year, right? I mean, it's like, well, wait a minute, where were you? Well, it really wasn't bad. It just kept getting worse and worse, and now, I need this surgery, or I've got a problem with this. It's like, you got to come see me before then, right? So your claim is over with. So in that, those are fewer and farther between. So I think from a law of averages standpoint, the insurance company is going to benefit by going on a little longer. And again, it gives them a longer time to kind of string you along. And quite often in litigation in general, not just personal injury stuff, it is winning through attrition. We're just gonna keep kicking it down the road and delaying it. And eventually, okay, look, I'll just take less. I'm tired of fighting this. I'm tired of dealing with this. I'm tired of whatever. And so that could be a component of it too. But I got to tell you, as a plaintiff, I don't like it because, lawyers have different strategies. Some get a case and file it right away. They get litigation right away. They start costing the insurance company money. And, hey, look, you can get rid of this case for $40,000. Well, they know if they keep moving in a litigation posture, they'll be up to $10,000 or $15,000 before they know it, and just court costs, issuing subpoenas for medical records, doing all these sorts of things. And so, it might help get rid of some of these expenses. The downside of it is, depending on the law firm, other lawyers have a different kind of tack. They say, look, sign up, we'll handle your case. We'll submit it to the insurance company. We'll work it. We'll and then all of a sudden, a year goes by, a year and a half goes by, and they just file suit, right? Let's say they file suit 2 days before the 2-year period. Now your case has been lingering for 2 years, and the defense lawyer just got involved. Okay, so now he's got to go ahead and give me a 30-day extension to answer the lawsuit. Now I'm going to send written discovery. So now the legal process starts all over, and you're now in year 3, right? And so and of course he's got to work the case up. He's got to figure out what it's worth and do all those sorts of things. And so I don't know. I mean, I've got kind of mixed about it. I mean, this is a civil code article, right? I mean, the civil code has been around for a couple hundred years, and it's always been a year in Louisiana. Many other states are 2 years, and so apparently, in an effort to, I guess, appease a lot of the insurance companies, well, too many lawsuits. Okay, well, let's give them 2 years to file a lawsuit instead of 1 year, and maybe we won't have as many lawsuits. I don't know.
I mean, I do think, I think we're probably both pretty balanced on this because we work both sides of the fence.
Correct.
In different capacities. And I will say on the plaintiff side, there's a lot of people who file suit who greatly exaggerate their injuries. You could have a dispute on, to the extent of them, but, and then you have a lot of insurance companies that don't deal with good cases in a pre-litigation phase and drive, injured parties to lawyers who would not be inclined to do that. For example, during the Hurricane Ida, we had a lot of people call and said, "This is the first time I've ever called a lawyer," and that was my last resort. But it was totally unresponsive. Anything we were trying to do, we had 14 claims adjusters and that sort of thing. So it is on both sides. There's a dynamic on both sides that you have to deal with. And, I think if and this is my criticism of the insurance companies, is a lot of the claims people are not proactive in trying to resolve a claim, I won't say fairly, but at something that's resolvable. And it drives the, homeowner or the injured party to lawyers. And so, I guess the key will be whether, during this 2-year period, they sort of productive conversations. Now, there's some people who always think their injury is worth, 10 times more than it really is.
Sure.
And those people you'll never satisfy and you'll never be able to settle. But I do think there's a large amount of people in that situation who would be inclined to resolve the case if they felt like that they were in a zone or parameters that were somewhat reasonable. And that, that insurance company just, maybe tries to squeeze them too much and it drives them away to a lawyer and they say, I can't resolve this myself. So, it's changing the law is not going to solve the problem. It may mitigate certain aspects of the problem, but it also creates unanticipated problems. Now, the 2-year period is helpful at times when you have someone who's injured and they're trying to get a handle on what the injuries are. You don't know whether, if it's like a back injury, you don't know whether it's going to resolve itself within a year or it's more mechanical. You're going to have problems for 2 to 3 years out, and you're trying to get a handle on it. A lot of times, if you got that month 10 or 11 and you still don't have that injury resolved, you have to file a lawsuit to keep the claim alive.
Right.
Whereas if you're in that situation with the 2-year period, then you got another year to see, what are we dealing with? And I think I've had my greatest frustration on working on the insurance company side, and this is why I quit representing them, is because I would say, look, you're going to spend X money anyway. This is the value of the claim. Deal with it early on. You'll probably get a better discount, and you won't incur the expenses of having litigation. So if you had a case that would be settled in litigation for $50,000, and you eventually got an offer of $40,000 to that injured party pre-litigation, you're probably going to settle the case. Now, it's being proactive, and it's sort of being very not reactive to it and trying to solve the problem. And I think you would probably resolve a lot of cases, but unfortunately, insurance companies don't operate that way. And a few of them do. A few, very thoughtful and competent, super competent claims adjusters will do that. But for the most part, there's so much cynicism on their side. They just treat all claims, good and bad, as
Right.
someone who's trying to.
Yeah. So and they'll run an index on you to see how many other claims you have, how many other lawsuits you have. Those insurance companies share all that information, all those records. So they'll look at it and see who the person is and the plaintiff is, and they adjust things accordingly. And look, I did defense work probably the first 10 years or so of my practice. I was house counsel with USF&G, and so there were a lot of adjusters that were great. They were fair. They wanted to, some of them had the mindset that, look, they don't get any better, they don't get any cheaper. Let's try to settle it, put a decent number on it, pay it now, and be done. As opposed to some lawyers getting involved and then running it up and running up the medicals and doing all these other things. So there are different aspects to it. And the thing I've learned mostly in doing a lot of personal injury work on the plaintiff side is when your clients will call you and say, look, what's going on in my case? Well, I'm like, are you still treating with the doctor? Yes. And does your back still hurt, or does your shoulder still bothering you, whatever the case may be? So yeah, there's a problem. I said, well, let's see what what your situation is going to be. Let's get a prognosis from your doctor. Let's get an MRI. Let's find out what's really wrong. So then we'll know moving forward whether or not we need to go ahead and settle this case now, or let's see, you might need a surgery, right? We don't want to settle it now, and then all of a sudden you need this surgery and you're not compensated for that. So, that's some of the frustration. We have as plaintiffs' attorneys. It's like, look, if you want a quick check, go see another lawyer, because we want to make sure that your case is, ready to be settled. And now, look, you don't hold on forever waiting for maybe some possible issue to arise. You get it worked up. You get a doctor to say, he's managing now, or she's managing now, but more probable than not, to a reasonable degree of medical certainty, she will need surgery in the future, and this is how much it's going to cost, et cetera, et cetera. And that happens all the time. But again, this 2-year period now for those who have that kind of injury that will, where the symptoms last beyond a year, this gives you a little extra time to monitor the situation, do you rehab those types and see if it's going to get better or not. And then you can maybe then settle that case within the second year without having to file a lawsuit, incur a bunch of, court costs and, deposition fees and all that sort of thing. So, I don't know. I'm kind of equivocal about it. I don't think it's going to affect the way I practice one way or the other, or the outcome that I typically get from my personal injury clients, whether it's a slip and fall or automobile accident or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's got its trade-offs, got things that may be helpful for and also may have unintended consequences. Let's go to a break. Dux and Terry, Albert Eco, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
WWL, the News Talk Sports Powerhouse. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Join Scoot Tuesday when he broadcasts live from Logo Express on the Best Bank in Harbin. Come out and get amazing deals on Mardi Gras gear, t-shirts, hoodies, rugby polos, dresses, sequin tops, and much more. And meet Scoot. He might even help you pick out something. Pass a good time with Scoot on the Air Tuesday, 1 to 4 p.m. at Logo Express, 658 Lesson Court in Harbin. Let the good times roll with WWL.
Bobby Abear, KG Cannon here. When the game tips off, the NBA action is just the beginning on FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Not number 2 or 3, but #1, that is FanDuel.
Howard, we're coming back with
Sean
from Uptown calling about
bet on the fourth quarter comeback.
he's calling about the co-mingling of inherited funds.
Okay.
Buying your live bets at the same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. However you want to play, now is the perfect time to join. New to FanDuel, customers get started at $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/Abear, that's HEBERT, for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA and WWL Radio.
21 plus and present in Louisiana. Permitted parishes only. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-770-7867. Mardi Gras is almost here. Are you ready? At Mardi Gras Beads Factory, they've got all the beads and throws you need to make your parade unforgettable. From dazzling metallic beads and jumbo pearls to specialty beads in every color of the rainbow, they've got it all. Plus, don't miss their huge selection of plush toys. Mardi Gras starts here. Mardi Gras Beads Factory, your one-stop shop for all things beads and throws. In Bridge City, right over the Huey P. Long, and in Homa. MardiGrasBeadsFactory.com.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, these next 30 seconds could make a big difference in your life. Research shows that car crash injuries are more costly and more severe than ever. But insurance companies are still trying to pay victims less. That's why tens of thousands of people in Louisiana have called Dudley DeBosier, and why you should too. 30 seconds is almost up. Don't miss out on the money you deserve because you didn't call us. LA 2417196. Page prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
People's Health has a new Medicare plan designed for people with diabetes, chronic heart failure, or cardiovascular disorders. It features a monthly over-the-counter allowance, lower costs for a number of prescriptions, and lower specialist copays than non-special needs plans from People's Health. To learn more about a chronic special needs plan, call 1-855-821-2666. Plans are insured through United Healthcare Insurance Company or one of its affiliated companies, a Medicare Advantage organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in the plan depends on the plan's contract renewal with Medicare.
At Home Bank, we are invested in our customer success and the health of our communities. It's our standard. Our team of bankers is committed to understanding your financial needs that help you reach your goals. You deserve that from your bank, and we do it with a smile. Stop by any of our New Orleans area locations to experience the Home Bank standard for yourself. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this important announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. Now, more All Things Legal, underwritten by Nico and Sinceri Law Firm. All advice given and opinion shared are solely those of attorneys Albert Nico and Doug Sinceri. Back to WWL.
Doug Sinceri, Albert Nico, your weekend lawyers, All Things Legal. Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Sean's got a question regarding commingled funds inherited. Hey, Sean, what you got for us, brother?
Hey, Doug, how's it going there? This is my stepbrother, actually. I consider him like a brother. So he was in his marriage, and supposedly the lady he was with had an inheritance, and she dumped it into a communal account. And he had checks come in, that check come in. 2 years went by, 3 years went by. All his money went in, her money went in, checks went in. And then he actually even dumped some of our inheritance from our family in that account as well. Now the divorce is over, and she's actually under the impression that she's going to get cut that whole check back, like as if. And one more thing I forgot to add there. When the divorce was over, there was absolutely no money in that account when it was filed. All the money had gone. They were both almost practically broke, and that money was spent. And my family's inheritance was spent as well. And she's under the impression that she's going to get cut. That whole check that she put in 2 years earlier handed right back to her as if it was. And I told him that that probably will not happen that way, but she's under the impression that she's going to get that whole check back that she put in that account, which is absolutely sounds silly, but I would have to get your opinion on that.
Well, it's sort of a case-by-case complicated question, but I will say this. Generally, a couple of things. One, an inheritance is separate property. However, if you receive an inheritance and you invest, and let's say you have fruits from that inheritance, such as investments, you get dividends or interest, that would be community property in absence of a prenuptial agreement. Now, in that situation, if they don't have any money, probably nobody's going to have checks cut to them for a pragmatic reason. Because if you commingle an inheritance, then you will have to hire a forensic accountant to see if you can trace that money and see where it ended up. If that inherited money was expended, for consumable community items, it's probably not you're not able to claw that back. If you take the inherited money and you put it into, let's say you pay off a mortgage with it, you might be able to get a reimbursement claim for the mortgage because that could be clawed back and that could be traced. So the question is, if you commingle it, then the onus is on the person trying to claim the inheritance that money could be traced to a asset of the estate that was accrued because of that, or a debt that was paid off of the community. And that's going to be hard to do. It can be done, and there's usually a huge cost because you have to basically get a forensic CPA to do all those computations. And they're very, very expensive. In some of the cases where we do have reimbursements for community property or separate property, or commingling separate property and community property, the CPA may cost as much as the attorney. So therefore, from a pragmatic standpoint, if they both don't have any money, they spent it all, it's probably not going to happen because it's going to cost her too much to go through that analysis. And there's probably not anything, not a bucket to grab the money from if she could do that. So in style issues, probably gone, because it probably cannot be traced. And the tracing is done by forensic accountants, which are as expensive as attorneys. So that's from a pragmatic standpoint. Now, if you do receive an inheritance and you want to keep that separate from the estate, the best thing to do is to keep it in its own account, so that there's no question as to that the inheritance is maintained to be separate. Or if you used it to pay off a mortgage, you just keep it's easily traceable. So I would say, in response to your question, neither party would probably be able to recoup their inheritance for the primary fact that they don't have any money left. And you have a zero community, so you can't split anything up. But the cost of trying to trace that inheritance would probably be greater than any benefit you receive. And we'd have to also know what the inheritance was, $50,000, $20,000, $100,000. That may make a factor. So the two concepts here is, number one, inherited money is separate property. If you want to keep it separate, it's best to keep it in its own account. However, if you invest that inherited money and it derives interest or dividends, that is community property, the interest and dividends. If you commingle inherited money, if it can be traced, you may be entitled to reimbursement. But a lot of times when you commingle inherited money, it's unable to be traced, so therefore you can't claw it back. So that's probably the best answer I can give you on that. So thanks for the call. It's a very good question. We encounter that a lot. And we have those scenarios a lot of times. And the forensic CPA sort of goes on a treasure hunt, figures out if he can do it. If he or she can claw it back and trace it. A lot of times they can, a lot of times they can't. So any doubt, just keep it separate. Or if you commingle it, no one do it with the knowledge that you may not be able to claw it back. All right, Colin, do we have anybody else on the line? Okay. Oh, yeah. Good question. I'll direct this to Albert. They had a caller off air who called and said, Albert, why are there so many injury lawyers in Louisiana? Your show doesn't talk about injury law that often, but when I see advertisements, it's all injury lawyers. Why is that? Is there something about Louisiana that makes injury lawyers so prominent? I would say prominent, not necessarily not in society, but
yeah. I mean, there's a big fight, not big fight, but a big competition among these I want to call them big box personal injury firms, and who they are because you can't turn on the television without seeing their advertising. I mean, there's new ones in town and et cetera, et cetera. To some degree, some of those firms, and I don't want to name names or call things out, but it's a personal injury mill. They get their clients in, they send them to the same doctors that don't charge them any money until the case is settled. They don't charge them any rehab money until the case is settled. They and these rehabs and these doctors, some of them don't even take regular patients. There's an orthopedic firm, for instance, and they only work for personal injury lawyers because they get typically the full amount of their money back from the claim without having to take any type of insurance proceeds. They've got a constant flow of business, and it's the same routine. They go in, then, they get hot packs on their neck, they get a little massage, and it's, $300 a visit. And so a lot of that is just this, a volume practice where we're going to just get as many people in there as possible. If we've got a real good insurance, if we got really good high limits insurance on the other side, then we'll work up the case differently. We're going to spend a lot more money. We're going to do all these things. Keep in mind that, the minimum limits in Louisiana that you have to have by law is $15,000 for liability coverage and $25,000 for vehicle coverage, to coverage damage to someone else's vehicle. You can get limits at 25 and 50 or 50, 100, 100, 300, and, a million. I mean, whatever you want, the insurance company can pretty much tailor it from a liability standpoint. When somebody sees when a lawyer sees, for instance, you'll see all these commercials. If you've been in a wreck with a big rig, if you've been in a wreck with a trucker, if it's got a name on it, call me, because they know it's a business, and businesses typically don't have $15,000 minimum limits. They usually have $1 million of limits. And so they want to be able to take your case, and they want to be able to, maximize the money that they make by, working the case up and, seeing a bunch of doctors, bringing the medicals up, and a lot of them have the doctors that, you tell them, oh, my neck still hurts, and they say, oh, well, let's have surgery. It's so you have a bunch of that. On the other side of it, man, we've had this conversation before about the uninsured motorist coverage, where I've had cases, somebody got their car was ran out of gas, and they're walking along the highway, and they got run over by a car and had $500,000 in medical bills alone. Right. And so, in that situation, those are the ones that need the $1 million in coverage. They need they have legitimate injuries, and not, 4 and 5 other accidents. And, so there's a blend and a mix of that. The juries in Louisiana, depending on where you are, right? Orleans Parish is typically very liberal. St. Tammany Parish, on the other hand, is typically very conservative in terms of injury awards. And so, depending on where you are, for instance, if I'm a defense lawyer, right, and I have a company from another state, and I run into somebody, and it's going to be, in excess of $75,000 in damages. Well, I want to put that in federal court if it happened in Orleans Parish, because, again, Orleans is very, very liberal in terms of awarding money. And so if I'm in federal court, then now I choose from all of the parishes within the Eastern District of Louisiana, which would include, Jefferson, St. Bernard, Plaquemines, all that. So you then get a cross section of jurors, as opposed to, a more liberal Orleans. Same holds true in St. Tammany Parish. If the accident happens in St. Tammany Parish with an out-of-state resident, and it's going to exceed $75,000, then you file the claim in federal court, right? Because I'm going to do better in federal court in terms of the mindset. And again, it's all a broad brush. It's all a generalization. But when you're trying to determine where you want to bring a lawsuit, you have to make these assumptions and look at the demographics and say, okay, this is where I want to be. One of the good things about Louisiana in terms of tort liability and law is there are very, very few punitive damages issues that would arise, and it's only by statute that you can collect punitive damages. And one of them obviously is drunk driving. Right. Another one is like pile driving and extra hazardous activities. And there are some, and again, the insurance statute is punitive, right? Because you can award penalties for their failure to pay. So again, they're just few and far between. Whereas many other states, we're going to give you your general damages, right? Your damages for pain and suffering, loss of enjoyment of life, that sort of thing. And then we're going to allow the jury to come back and award punitive damages to punish that behavior, so that you don't do that again. And so Louisiana does not have that, but again, it's a volume thing. I'm gonna get as many people in here as possible. I might make $3,000 or $4,000, $5,000 on the little ones, but on the big ones, who knows? The sky's the limit. And so you get a lot of a lot of people trying to vie for those people that are in accident. Keep in mind, I I believe in the system. I believe without a tort system and without plaintiffs' attorneys and people representing people that have been injured or whether it's a slip and fall, whatever. I mean, what incentive?
It'd be a lot more dangerous.
Yeah, what incentive would a store have in keeping its aisles clean and clear if people can fall and not have any kind of recovery against them for do it? Then then people would be slipping and falling like crazy and injuring themselves. And you got parking lots with holes in it, and again, people that just run stop signs and do whatever. And so if there's no repercussion for that, then you're going to have the wild, wild west. So I believe in the system and I believe it, but again, there's some insurance companies, like you mentioned earlier, that think everybody's a liar and don't want to pay anyone. And on the other side, you've got a lot of people that claim to be injured that are not, and just work the case up to get a check.
Okay, so let's go to a break. Doug and Terry, Albert Dico, your Weekend Warriors. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
Dream of riding in a carnival parade? WWL has your tickets to roll with the crew of Argus through the streets of Metairie on Mardi Gras Day. Ride high atop a float with everything you need, costumes and throws for two, all for free. Go to WWL.com/contest for your chance to win a ride of a lifetime in the greatest free show on earth. Powered by Mercedes-Benz of Covington. Let the good times roll with WWL.
At California Psychics, we know that when you haven't found love, it feels like everyone else has. Every movie has a love interest. Every song is a love song. Where are all the songs about cats or the joy of early bedtime? And of course, the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to help you find the one. We connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So you could be feeling all lovey-dovey real soon. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
We're fresh off hosting the big game for a record-tying 11th time, where the biggest names in sports and entertainment came together for an amazing week in New Orleans. The eyes of the world were on us, and we shined brightly as a world-class, one-of-a-kind destination. It's not magic that attracts millions of visitors and brings major events and conventions to our city every year. Our city is built to host. Experience it for yourself. Come see what makes our city so special. Plan your trip, meeting your event today with our friends at New Orleans & Company at neworleans.com.
Right now at Verizon, you can get one line for less than you think. Just $60 per month when you bring your phone, which is less than you spend on Bella's Dog Walker and Glam Squad every week. Get one line on unlimited welcome for $50 per month with auto pay plus taxes and fees at your local Verizon store today. $15 monthly promo credits applied for 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. Times of suggestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming and 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
This summer, transform your backyard into a personal paradise with a custom swimming pool from Duplessis Builders. Whether you dream of a sleek, modern pool or a natural resort-style retreat, our expert team makes it a reality.
Duplessis Builders designed and built our perfect pool. It's our favorite place to relax and have fun.
Visit DuplessisBuilders.net to explore our stunning portfolio and start planning your dream pool today. Duplessis Builders. Dive into luxury. That's DuplessisBuilders.net.
This is Ian Ozan. Being able to hear is vital to what I do every day. That's why I trust my ears to Dr. Lander Coscarano, the Coscarano Earwax and Ear Health Clinic in Harahan. Not only is Dr. Coscarano a board-certified family nurse practitioner with postdoctoral ENT training, he's also my high school classmate. So if you need earwax removed or a hearing test or other ear issues taken care of, give Dr. Lander Coscarano a call at 504-667-3450. That's 504-667-3450. Or go to earhealthclinics.com.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 475-2323.
LA 16
157907.
Hey, Albert, real quick, we're not going to have time to get Sam from Gretna on, not too much time at least, but he did call in with a question I feel like could be I'll tell him to call back next week so we can build on it, but the answer should be hopefully a yes or no. The fortified roofing program, he already built the fortified roof. I believe he paid for it out of his own pocket. Can he still get reimbursed through the grant program or no?
I don't think he can. No, I don't think he can. I don't think he can. But the grant program is going on right now. Though they opened it up on February 12th, and I don't know if they have enough. But I'll try to look real quick. We got a minute.
NordVPN.com and discover one of the most advanced VPNs in the world. What are the benefits? Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. Receive alerts if your email address leaks to the dark web. Reduce the risk of phishing, scams, and malware with NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro tool. Encrypt your online traffic and browse with more peace of mind. Get the special birthday deal at NordVPN.com. Additional terms apply. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
Ever feel like there aren't enough hours in the day? If you get busy or miss your favorite show, don't worry. With Rewind, available exclusively on the free Odyssey app, you can stream your favorite shows on demand. You know your day is better with us. Get the news that matters to you from the local voices you trust. No matter what you're up to, give it a try. To get started, download the free Odyssey app and search for your station. That's AUDACY.
All things legal with Doug Sinceri and Albert Nico on WWL and Odyssey Station. Connect now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sinceri, Albert Nico, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Colin, do we have an answer on that fortified roof question?
Yeah, real quickly.
Yeah.
On the fortified roof, the guy said, "Hey, I did my fortified roof already. I have all the paperwork. I went through an inspector and everything else, but can I apply for the grant and get $10,000 back?" And the answer is no, because the money is to be paid directly to the contractor and not to the homeowner. But look, if you're interested at all, it does not apply. It doesn't apply for new. The grants do not apply to new home construction. But if you're at all interested, there is a grant open registration right now. It closes at 5 p.m. today. So you can go to the ldi.la.gov, Louisiana Department of Insurance website, and then click on, fortified homes, and then you can sign up for the grant, and you can also sign up for announcements of future grants announcements at that site. So do it before 5 p.m. today if you're at all thinking about putting a new roof on and want to do the fortified roof. And whether or not your insurance premiums come down, it's substantially increases the weather tightness of your roof and will protect you 10 times over from any water damages in coming into your home in high winds. So go to the Department of Insurance website today, fortified roof. You got till 5 p.m. today to sign up for the grant program, and you go in a lottery, and then they pick a certain number of them, and then hopefully you can you get that 10 grand. It'll be paid to your contract.
All right, let's go to a break. That's Sinceri, Albert Nico, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Be right back after this brief timeout.
Get the WWL shows you love delivered to your phone free. Download the Odyssey app and follow your favorites. Tommy Tucker, Newell Norman, Scoot. Powered by Beads by the Dozen. Breaking news about the Saints, Pelicans, and LSU on WWL is powered by BetMGM. Smarter bets start with BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app or visit BetMGM.com today. WWL is proudly sponsored by Dudley DeBosier Injury Lawyer. Call 444-4444.
Now the Chinese subspecies, Chad Dudley New Orleans. If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No
one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation. Call 800-906-1788. 800-906-1788. 800-906-1788. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
GiveMeTheVin.com. Our expert buying team knows exotics, luxury cars, classics, diesels, lifted stuff, hot rods, inside and out. We buy them at GiveMeTheVin.com. It's a one-stop shop to get into a pool of absolute experts. Join my YouTube channel, John Clay Wolf. GiveMeTheVin.com. They don't call me America's best car buyer for nothing. Your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. Easy you can do it.
The annual Horses, Hops, and Cups fundraiser for the NOPD Stables is at City Park, Wednesday, February 19th. Meet the world-famous Budweiser Clydesdales. Enjoy fun for the whole family, including VIP tours, equine soccer game, live music, and Budweiser. That's Wednesday, February 19th, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at NOPD Stables, City Park. Meet the world-famous Budweiser Clydesdales and celebrate the 100th anniversary of the NOPD Mounted Unit. Come by 1021 Harrison Avenue or visit LouisianaHospitalityFoundation.org.
My name is Hugh Lambert, nicknamed Skip. Our firm, Lambert Zaney, focuses on the maritime world. However, we also handle other serious personal injury claims involving boats, planes, trains, trucks, and aircraft. We have an engineering background to analyze what failed and why. The right to recover when injured requires an analysis of legal and factual issues. We're experienced at doing just that to maximize our clients' recovery. Please Google us at Lambert Zaney, Smith & Soso or LambertZaney.com. Be safe out there.
LA18-0969.
Flow Resources, complete employer solutions. FlowResources.com. Weight loss injections now available at Rejuvamate. RejuvaMateMedical.com. Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the relief hotline at 800-390-0874. 800-390-0874. 800-390-0874.
Hey, we're back. Justin Terry Albert Nico. You can always all things legal. Stay tuned later on WWL AM, FM, Odyssey.com for the LSU Game 3, the LSU Fort Wayne game. Pre-game at 12:30, first pitch at 1 o'clock. LSU already won the series. I think they'll be pitching Chase Shores, 6'8", 245 pounds with 100-mile-an-hour fastball. He hadn't played in 2 years because of Tommy John surgery, so we'll see how he debut today. Also, if you have questions for us outside the show, you can call us at a law firm at 504-837-1304, 504-837-1304, or on the North Shore, 985-674-9696. And so,
yeah, real quickly.
any parting shots?
Yes, I do. The Horses and Hops for Cops. Mardi Gras is not Mardi Gras until midnight Mardi Gras night. You see the mounted police coming down Mardi Gras telling everybody Mardi Gras is over. It's time to, go in the bars or go home. Those guys keep us safe. Hospitality Foundation, one of their fundraisers is this Wednesday night. I don't know if you just heard the ad for it. Yeah, it's free to go. And, just there's food and drink and a band. The Clydesdales are there. There's a soccer match with the horses. This is ball. It's probably 6 feet tall. and the horses bump into it while, and they ride the horses and play soccer. Kids can take pictures with the Clydesdales, face painting. It's just really a great time, and it's going to be at the equestrian stables right there at Marconi and Harrison Avenue. So come out, support a good cause, and have a great time.
All right, sounds good. So is there so if they're interested, you go to the website or phone number?
Yeah, you can go to LHF.com, Louisiana Hospitality Foundation.org. I forget what the concept, but yeah, you can find out more about it and and everything about the foundation. I'm actually on the board. So anyway, but yeah, it's a great time.
All right, sounds good. All right, and next week we'll be on at 8:00 till 10:00, and we will have a great week, and we'll see you next.